What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Alpha Intuition Podcast. I'm going to help you guys become the CEO of your life. I'm your host, Keisha L. Blair, and today it is just me. I do not have a guest for you guys. So, look, all last week I was on a cruise, not just any cruise. It was a cruise that was called Wealth on Water. Whoo, let me tell you, I didn't know if this was like a business venture or if this was a vacation. So it was a little bit of both. I actually had an amazing time. It was a mastermind that was put on by Terri Couser. She is the credit specialist, the credit expert. Everything that you need to know about your business credit, everything you need to know about your personal credit, she can help get you there. So I am in her Patreon community and I attended her mastermind called Wealth on Water. Now, let me tell you, it was not just any regular mastermind. She had some phenomenal speakers on this cruise. It was just, first of all, before I even get into all that, let me just tell y'all about the boat. It wasn't even a boat, it was a ship. Okay, I don't even know what to call it. It was huge. It was called Utopia of the Sea. It was by Royal Caribbean. And it was phenomenal. It was just, I'm gonna say that word like probably like 10 more times. So y'all just get ready for me to keep saying phenomenal because I don't know any other way to say it. I clean my glasses off. But it was the ship was, I think it's like number two, the largest ship out there, and the thing is huge. It had like 18 decks on it, something different to do on every deck. I tried to do as much as I could, but it was like a lot that I just couldn't even get to. One of the things that I made sure that I did every day was I had breakfast on my balcony looking at the water. I watched the sunrise over the ocean every single morning that I was there. It was, once again, I'm gonna say it, y'all, it was phenomenal. Okay. Oh my goodness. But okay, so now that I got that out the way, let me get into some of these speakers. Wait. I'm gonna tell y'all about the speakers. I'm gonna get to it. But before I do that, I just want you guys to do one thing for me. Make sure that you like and subscribe so that you can get notified every time I drop new episodes, which is usually every Saturday morning at 6 a.m. So sometimes I am a little late, I may be on another schedule or something, but I try to get these episodes to you guys every Saturday morning at 6 a.m. Now, let me put my glasses back on. So now I'm going to be reading a little bit too because I'm going to make sure I drop these gems right. The speakers that she had on there was Suleiman Rahman. He talked about the X factor of success. And I'm not even going to give you guys a formula because you ain't going to know what to do with it. You're going to have to just figure out who he is and find him online. But I'll spell his name for you. It's SULAIMAN He talked about the X factor to success. Just talked about being uncommon, believing big, and not settling. So that was number one. He was coming out. So he came in hot and heavy, y'all. He was coming in hot. Dropped a whole bunch of gems. And I mean, I told him the whole time that I was there, bro, you're going to have to give me a glossary for all these terms you keep coming up with, because he had some great terms. It was just like, different things that just made you think. So number two, we had his business partner, Jessica Lilly. She talked about clarity and execution. She talked about a lot. She made me think about just how I look at personality assessments and how I assess people just through, you guys know I'm an extreme execution coach. So just thinking about how I assess people. And she talked about having a vision without execution is just a dream. That's all it is. You just having a vision. You just dreaming. You ain't put nothing in place. You don't have nothing in place. And execution is emotional and individual. And she also talked about just making sure that you're be a steward of your time and make sure that you finish what you start. And the last thing that she talked about, I think Terri made sure everybody had like 10 points, y'all. So I'm not gonna go through all 10 with each one, but I'm just trying to just recap. And hers was that rest is a requirement. But she talked about just the difference between a visionary and an integrator. Huge. So just think about that. Follow her online, Jessica Lilly. And then we had to end our day, because we only, we did sessions for about 4 hours, and then we went and enjoyed our time on the water. But Rashawn Howard talked about financial clarity and emotional spending. Now he's all about insurance. He'll make sure that you ain't trying to go out here and have no bake sales and no fish fries and all that stuff. If something happened to your family, and you don't want to have to do it, but if something happened to your family, it's not going to have to do all that. But he said clarity is a commitment, and you can't build what you cannot define. So you need to track what you attract, especially with your money. So track your money so you can attract more money. All right. So he actually spoke on 2 different days. So this was actually day 2 of the cruise, but it was day 1 for us in the sessions. And then on day 2 of the sessions that came in, I'm talking about we followed man Connie S. Falls. Connie S. Falls is the systems bae. Y'all ain't heard about Connie, you better ask somebody, because Connie, she's all about your systems, building up your systems. You can't have nothing in place without no system. I felt like she was talking directly to me because I'm like, I know I like structure, I like all this stuff, but I ain't got all my systems in place. I'm working on it. But she talked about, systems help you protect your time, your energy, and it helps you to scale. So I'm like, yes, definitely. I need to have those systems in place. Then we had Nikki Saunders that came in. Nikki Saunders talked about, y'all already know who Nikki is. Nikki is the content queen. She's a content creator. She creates everything. She talks about visibility and local domination. Woo, how to dominate locally before you try to go global. Dominate right in your own space before you're trying to go all over the world. Just spread yourself thin. So yeah. After her presentation, I joined the Lions Behavior community. So if you are not in Lions Behavior, make sure that you join and tell them that Keisha the Electrician sent you. So, and hopefully I'll see you there. All right. So next up, we had the founder and the visionary for the Wealth on Water, Terri, and she's always dropping gems. I love her community. It's phenomenal. She talked about, there's that word again, phenomenal. It's phenomenal. But funding, and she talked about real estate. How she was in Making Real Estate Real, and revenue as a strategy. She asked a question: if you had $25K, what would you do with it? How would you invest in your business? And I thought, man, about a lot of money that I did have, even when I got released from corporate, and I had, I'm sitting up here living off my expenses as opposed to pouring it into my business. So become your own bank. If you have funds, don't go look and try to, save your funds to pay your bills. Use your funds to fund your business. So, become your own sponsor. So that's one of the nuggets that Terri dropped that I definitely learned. And I'm gonna tell you something that happened. Like, y'all love to speak things into existence. And she gave away a free coaching program, one of her programs. And I'm sitting over there just praying to she's gonna call my name. She's gonna call my name. And when she pulled it out, I'm recording her. I dropped the phone and she called my name. So yes, I won a complimentary coaching session with the Terri Couser. So I'm very, very, very excited about that because it is phenomenal. All right. So, okay. Next up. Oh man. She had Jason White. First name Jason, last name White. Jason White. He is the king of government contracts. He dropped so many gems. I'm like, I couldn't even put all them gems in my pocket. He was dropping them. Ooh, the one thing I knew that my takeaway from Jason White was that I need to go register with SAMS.gov, and that there are 96,000 contracts out there every day that never get scooped up. So don't listen to me. Go listen to first name Jason, last name White. Go listen to Jason White. Now all these people are online, so I'm not spelling everybody's name for you, but you guys can just go ahead and just find them. You see here. And then next we have, Rashawn Howard. It was Rashawn Howard again. He came back and he closed us out and he just talked about wealth, identity, and legacy. So just, how to use your income. When your income is not your identity, and what does your energy say about your money goals? What conversation do you have with your money? What do you say about your money? What does your money say about you? So that was his lesson. So that was just my quick recap of all the things that I learned from the different coaches. And let me see here. I had a whole bunch of things that I was going to put in here. They don't seem like it never pans out the way that you want it to. Let me see. Oh, here we go. All right. I should have put this up there first, but I didn't. So leadership lessons that I learned from the Wealth on Water was about frequency, friction, and finances. Now, let me tell y'all about just from frequency to friction. Have you ever Have you ever had somebody talk to you and their voice was so annoying it just made you not even want to listen to them? That's because they were on a different frequency from what you were used to hearing. So I was trying to explain my coaching program, my CEO mindset, and how I talk about the flight assessment and I infuse it into my program. And they asked me to explain it. And that's the analogy that I came up with. Actually, it was Jason White. So that's the analogy that I came up with. And it was, if you ever had somebody that spoke to you and their voice was just so annoying, you didn't want to listen to nothing that they had to say. That's because their voice was resonating on a frequency that you were not familiar with. And sometimes we just tend to steer away from the things that we don't understand. We choose to not like the things that we don't understand. So when I think about communicating with someone, sometimes somebody could be speaking a different language to you. And I don't mean like a different actual language, I mean a different frequency language. They're resonating on a different frequency from you. You don't really understand what they're saying. They don't understand what you're saying. You guys are just going to butt heads. And then you get that friction because they're on a different frequency. So that is one of the things that I like to always cover when I talk about my high frequency communication and how to communicate with someone else my lights off, how to communicate with someone else and make sure that you operate on the same frequency that they are on. All right. So, if you're not tuned, I'm gonna give you another example. Just think about when you listen to the radio station, right? Let's just say if you're trying to find you a nice jazz station, and then all of a sudden you got some crossover, some crosstalk, something like I know what it's called. It's called EMI. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that term, but it's electromagnetic interference. And what it's doing is you get that crosstalk or you get that interference from a different frequency that's coming in on your station because it's not clear. So it's going to bleed over into what you're trying to listen to. It's not coming through clear. All it's doing is causing a lot of friction on the station that you're trying to reside on. So that's kind of like, what happens when you are talking to someone or talking at someone and they don't understand you and you don't understand them. You guys are on two different frequencies. And sometimes the only way for you to get on the same frequency is you have to tune in. You got to fine tune it and you got to get right on that certain frequency to where it comes in clear. You understand what they're saying. They understand what you're saying. So I just wanted to throw that out there because that's what my CEO mindset, high frequency communication, is all about. All right. So the next lesson that I learned, and that's enough about that because I teach that in my workshop. So if you guys are interested in that, just DM me. And I don't know, say something like high frequency. DM me high frequency, and I will send you guys some information about my high frequency communication class for leaders. All right. So my next one that I learned here was about replicating what produces revenue. This is something that Terri talks to me about all the time. She talks about it in her community. And just think about the things that are making you revenue, figure out what their process is, and replicate it so you can keep producing the revenue that you are getting. So I had to take a look at what I've been doing, and I realized that my flight assessment is the one thing that makes me the most money. I infuse it in basically everything that I do. I talk about it so it's in me so that it comes out. It helps me just to create transformation, and it just aligns with who I am and how I serve people, especially when I think about being an accountability coach. And that was something I didn't even realize that I was, because I was just, holding people accountable for the things that they said, because I hold myself accountable for the things that I say. So to have, y'all excuse me. So when I think about being an accountability coach and infusing the flight assessment into that, because like I said, I can't work with somebody if I don't know what frequency they're resonating on. So yeah, that's one thing that I have learned to replicate, because it's the one thing that helps me to produce revenue for my business. All right, let's see. The next thing that I learned, going down my list here, is recognizing that my business evolves around my CEO mindset and accountability coaching, right? So yes, that's what I just said. So that's one thing that I had to learn, is that Yeah, I'm an accountability partner, and I do accountability coaching. So I CEO mindset. Of course, for me, CEO stands for Create, Eliminate, Organize. That's what this community is all about. That's what my podcast is all about. Alpha Intuition. I help people to become the CEO of their life by helping them to create systems that work for them, to eliminate stress and distractions, and to organize their life so that they can get to a point to where they feel like that they can thrive and be successful. All right. What's my next one here? My next one is lessons into leadership. So that's what season 3 is all about, you guys. Just some about the leadership lessons that I've learned throughout my journey from being an electrician to an executive and now an entrepreneur. Those are all 3 different stages. I learned a lot of different lessons on the construction site. I learned a lot of different lessons in the corporate world, and I'm learning every day different lessons of being an entrepreneur. So what I want to challenge you guys to do, because like I said, I didn't want to make this long. I just wanted to get this one out here because look, you see my shirt. Red stands for remember everyone that deployed. I try to wear this shirt on Fridays. My oldest son is in the Air Force, so I wear this shirt because yes, he is over in South Korea. So you might see this red shirt. I know it doesn't go with my normal colors. You guys see my happy, my vibrant green, my electric green, as I like to call it, and then my calming and my peaceful purple. But on Fridays, I'm going to wear this. So I'm recording this because I just got back from Left on Water today. But just those leadership lessons that I've learned, I'm going to make sure that I share those lessons with you guys. So if you are someone and you are ready to get into the pilot seat, then DM me, CEO. Or you can head on over to KeishaLBlair.com, and you guys already know the L stands for La Extra, like my friend Tressa says, over there at Convicted to Grow. But, my middle name, I think about L, because sometimes you got to take a lot of L's in life. So I make sure that I put that in there. It's not just Keisha Blair, it's Keisha L. Blair. And as you guys know, I'm Keisha the electrician. But Keisha L. Blair, sometimes you got to take a lot of L's in life to get to where you want to be. I know I've taken a lot of L's in life. Sometimes I didn't even know why I was taking them when I was taking them, but they helped me to get to where I wanted to be. And they're going to help me continue to grow. So I look at all those L's as opportunities to grow in myself, to grow in my business, and just to grow in life in general, to grow in my entrepreneurship journey. And then what the last one here I have is that you guys can head on over to my link tree as well. So it's KTE21. Y'all already know KTE, Keisha the electrician. But I try to play a spin on words, and also stands for keep that energy. So next time when I come back, I want to talk to you guys a little bit more about that EMI, electromagnetic interference, because there's something else that goes along with it. It's called EMF, electromagnetic field. So I'm not going to drop all that on y'all at one time because, I know it's like a lot that's going on. But just think about your electromagnetic field. It's just everybody talks about having this energy. And I don't want anybody coming into my energy, coming into my personal space. Basically, that's the same thing that an electromagnetic field is. It's just something that keeps a barrier around to make sure that EMI, that interference, doesn't get in. So, but we'll talk more about that next time. I'm not going to get into all that right now because, for one, I'm tired. I just got off a plane. Ooh. And I got off a huge ship. So, and I traveled from Atlanta to Memphis. So what I'm going to do is let you guys enjoy your weekend and look forward to seeing you all back again next week. So, as I always say, the journey to the top of any mountain begins with one single step. You guys don't stop. Keep climbing. And y'all remember, keep that energy. Peace.